All right, everyone, we have really good news today, which is that the White House, Trump, his administration, they've launched a tool to report censorship, to report politically biased examples of censorship in the tech world. Like if you get banned on a site, you think it's due to being, I guess, a conservative or something, you can report it. Link in the description to that actual form. It's on the White House site itself. Now, keep in mind one thing. Just because you happen to be politically active and get banned off a site doesn't necessarily make it a form of bias. So you have to sort of, with self-reporting, the problem is that a lot of people will assume that that's the case without any actual evidence. They'll just be like, well, I'm a conservative and I got banned off Twitter, but really it's, they kept saying racial slurs or something. One thing that people need to do, if you're into the more serious side of political commentary, analysis, journalism, whatever, you've got to understand that the legacy media, you've got billionaires breathing down your neck. You've got, the muckrakers of our time essentially trying to ruin your life. Therefore, you have to weigh your words somewhat carefully, and you sort of have to go out of your way. Some normal person gets to break the rules all the time. Like some random dunce gets to say whatever jack shit they want, and they never get in trouble. Or some policy, some corporate turd that's on Twitter or something can say stuff that's clearly bigoted, and they never get in trouble because they're like verified special kids. Whereas everyone else, they have to sort of deal with the fact that they're playing by a different set of rules. So, for example, although I can talk about any subject I want, I can't use all the words that I might want to use all the time. You can say fuck and stuff like that, but some of the cooler insults, you can get banned for them now. Unless, again, you are a corporate turd, in which case, Bill Maher can say the N-word and nobody really gives a shit. There's an example of your double standard, but imagine some YouTuber saying that, you get banned off every platform within 24 hours, if they were already being targeted by the outrage lynch mob. So weigh your words carefully, and 90% of the time you can avoid this problem altogether. Another thing is go back through your old material. I know a lot of people, this is onerous. Like I did this several years ago. I went back through all my old videos saying I believe that the tech paradigm is shifting over. There's going to be a lot more censorship. What things do I have here that potentially are beyond that edge? Maybe I should go through and remove it now. And so I removed some hundreds of very funny videos where I had simply, said the wrong word, or I changed titles occasionally. Had no choice. That was during the same period where I was taking down a bunch of shit anyway, though, because it was like antiquated. Nobody cared about it. I think I removed 500 or 600 videos after the 2016 election. So go back through your old shit, clean things up a bit. Choose your words carefully. It's easier when it's pre-recorded. Live is, there's a reason why people who do more live streaming get hit disproportionately. I think in the moment of debate, they say the wrong thing, and then all of a sudden their Twitch account is gone and shit like that. But if you do believe that you've been, had a hatchet job run against you by an outrage mob of social justice warrior miscreants, now you've got a way to actually alert Trump to it. Now, of course, Trump is not going to look through every instance of reporting, and you can bet this is ripe for abuse. I guarantee teams of left-wing shills from ShareBlue and all these other groups, right now they're organizing to try to bot this reporting tool and fill it up with spam. Can almost guarantee that they're going to try to do that. Of course, they might be breaking several federal laws in the process, but, they play by a different set of rules sometimes. Always remember, though, they're not quite as strong as you think. Saul Alinsky Tactics 101, one of their biggest tactics is just to try to insinuate that they're all powerful and they've already won in hopes that people won't resist them. And this happens during every wave of censorship, whether the group intends to utilize that strategy or not. It's sort of innate, sort of a shock factor. It amplifies people's misery. So yeah, if you believe that you've been banned or like suspended or something on a site, submit it on this tool. I think it's a step in the right direction. Now, by the way, to all of those of you like a week ago when Trump came out and said, well, we need to do something about this tech censorship, and I applauded him when he was retweeting Paul Joseph Watson, Lauren Southern, and so forth, I think Faith Goldie. He retweeted these people. And the legacy media lynch mob went crazy, and I'm like, oh good, he's gearing up to support the First Amendment, which is one of the main goals of the U.S. government should be to promote freedom and to preserve liberty, and not to fucking stomp on people's constitutional rights. And I see a bunch of liberals up in arms. Oh my God, Trump is waging war on Silicon Valley. He's trying to preserve free speech. It's a noble thing. It's not even a partisan thing to do. If you're a liberal and you think you've been banned, you can use the same fucking reporting tool. Isn't that a monumental feat of engineering that liberals are capable of using a web form? Yeah, at least, most of the time. Some people might have difficulty because, if they're socialists, they might not be intelligent enough to utilize it. But if you're just like a routine liberal, like an Obama liberal, certainly you should have the intelligence. But anyway, what about those of you who said, well, tell me when he walks the walk instead of just talking the talk, like it was all word stuff. And what I pointed out at the time, I think I've reiterated this already, was that, words are the way to defend free speech. Free speech, the easiest way to defend it is to keep speaking and not fucking take any dimes, so to speak. Tell the people to fuck off if they're telling you to shut up. Well, I guess that Trump's done something more tangible now, hasn't he? Now, of course, it might be largely for show, but the biggest goal, here's how he can win this struggle in favor of the First Amendment, preferably, is to simply make it a public debate. Because it hadn't been really a public debate before. The only people that were fighting against corporate censorship were groups that had already been labeled hateful or extreme. This is going to make it a mainstream issue. You're going to have a mainstream public debate over, do we want to have a European-style, heavily censored, boring, shitty, cloying internet in which a lot of people are going to be basically segregated and into a bunch of echo chambers, and it'll be corporate monopolies and kind of shitty? Or are we going to have one that functions like it's functioned all along, which is that people can make their content, people can make their ideas known. If they're not causing any physical victimization, who fucking cares? I really hope the latter. Trump is on the right side of history. Even his detractors should understand, fundamentally, this is a preservation of free speech. Yes, it is possible for corporations to violate your rights too. Believe it, I thought the left used to understand that, apparently less now. That's about all. Peace out.